Hello again. I'd like to show you how to make this electric tram that runs on rails and picks up its electric current from two strips of foil running underneath. I'm just going to show you how to make the chassis of the tram. I think this would make a really good project for year 5 and 6 as part of a transport topic. I'll talk more about the track later on. The first decision you're going to have to make is the gauge of your track. Doesn't really matter what it is. In this case, I've made it so that it's the height from one railhead to the other railhead is 10 centimetres. So having decided that, I've used a piece of 4mm Corex here with the flutes running lengthwise for added strength. This piece of Corex is about 8.5 centimetres wide. The length isn't too important. I've made this quite large. This is 30 centimetres long. Underneath the chassis, I've fixed, I've glued on, or you could use sticky tape, 2 plastic drinking straws, and then I've cut them back to leave a small amount sticking out at each end. Now, for the wheels for this chassis, we're actually using pulleys. These are wooden pulleys. A pulley is a wheel that's got a groove around the outside so that you can connect them together with bands or belts. All of the materials I'm showing you here are available from my shop. This particular pulley has got the code number P133. It's about 50 millimetres in diameter. It's got a 4mm hole, and luckily the 4mm dowel I've got actually fits it quite well. It's not always the case. I don't really want to have to glue them on because I want them to be adjustable to make sure that the gauge fits the rail. So the grooves have got to be 10 centimetres from the middle of the groove. That's okay, and that one's okay. So that's our rolling chassis. We're now going to motorise the tram chassis. We're going to use our standard cheap DC electric motor, code number is E162, and I'm going to fit it with the small plastic pulley we usually use on motors. This is P100. By the way, if you buy motors from me, if you want me to, I will solder wires on for you at no extra charge. Makes them a lot easier for pupils to connect up. Now, we could glue this in position. I'm going to use one of these self-adhesive motor mounts, and I've positioned it in a position so that when I join this black pulley to this pulley, that this rubber band, this happens to be a number 18 rubber band, is not too tight and not too loose. And you can also adjust it in the motor mount so that they line up. So let's just quickly check that all is okay. I've got 3-volt supply here. Just make sure that it's turning around. It's amazing how things can go wrong with circuits. Just notice that wire's come off there. There we are. Yes, all is well. That's turning quite nicely. That's 3 volts. If you wanted a fast tram, you could use 6 volts. Probably 4.5 volts. So 6 volts, the tram is a bit too fast. Okay, so far so good. We're now going to make the electrical pickups so that the tram can pick up its current from the 2 strips of foil between the tracks. So if we look underneath, and this is the pickup I've designed. It's made of another piece of 4mm Corex. This strip is about 2 centimetres wide, and it is, what is it, about 12? Yes, about 12 centimetres long. And what I've done, using a craft knife and a safety ruler and a cutting mat, of course, I've scored it about 2 centimetres from each end so that it folds, so that we've got this hinge, and because it's plastic, we've got a nice spring action there, so that it's always going to keep contact with the live rail on the track. So to connect it up, we get one of the motor wires, and I don't know if you can see this, I'll hold it up in a second. I'm going to pass it through one of the flutes inside the pickup. Keep pushing till it comes out the other end. Being a little bit stubborn. There we are. Until we've got the bare wire coming out the end. Just going to fold that over like this. Then I'm going to wrap some foil around. I'm going to put it underneath the wire, and to make sure we get a really reliable contact, I'm going to put a little piece of sticky tape over there. Make sure it's a small piece of tape, because we need to make sure that we've got plenty of bare foil showing that's in contact, that's going to make contact with the track. So I've wrapped that round. I've made a rather clumsy job of that, but I think it's going to be okay. And we're going to secure the foil. You could use stick glue. I'm going to use another piece of sticky tape, but I've made sure that that sticky tape is underneath the contact, not on the side that's going to touch the track. So the foil here hasn't been covered with sticky tape. So we can now glue that in position alongside one I've made earlier. Use glue gun for this. Make sure they're not too close, we don't want them touching, that will make a short circuit. And I've used quite wide strips of foil, so you don't have to worry too much about accuracy. I think that looks to be about in the right position there. There we are. So we've got two spring-loaded contacts there. Okay, let's see if it works. The track is a strip of Corex with pieces of C100 square section wood, 8x8 in this case, and I glued a length of 3mm dowel on top of the piece of square section wood to create the rail. Glued one in position, and then to make sure that the gauge is correct at all times, I've used two pieces of wood that spacers to make sure that when I glue the second piece of wood on, it's exactly the same gauge. And then to link the various pieces together, I've just pushed in pieces of 4mm dowel into the holes in the end so that they push together. On the strips of foil, I make sure that I pass them around the end here, so that when two are joined together like this, if I can manage this, there we are, they butt together so that the electricity can flow from one track section to another. So let's try and get our tram chassis going. We'll just connect it up to 3 volts here. Connect the other wire. There we are. Yes, all seems to be okay. There we are. Yes, that's working well. It's nice to put it in the direction, have it so that it's moving that way. The wipers seem to work better. There we are. That's working really well. And if you'd like to just hang on, I've now got some sequences where I've joined all the track together, and you can see the trams running along the full length of track. I hope you've enjoyed watching this video, and I hope you have a go at making these trams. Thank you very much. Okay, let's see.